directing my path. And you too. So I want you to be encouraged this week and next week when we're learning about the life of Moses, because you're going to find out that your life parallels it pretty well. Pretty well. So, again, God's plan is engaged. God implemented it way before you were born and planned out what's going to happen. God's plan is engaged way before it is revealed. And so, in the life of Moses, it kind of covers all the bases of how we live. You know, it says, why did Pharaoh want all male children to be killed? Anybody know that? Anybody know why Pharaoh wanted all the male children to be killed?
Because the Israelites were becoming too plentiful of a nation.
The Israelites were growing rapidly. They were increasing in numbers, and guess what? When your slaves end up being more plentiful than you, rebellion can break out. And so Pharaoh was scared to death that the Israelites were going to increase in numbers so much that they would be a threat to Egypt. And so he made a decree that all the male children would be killed, the young babies and stuff. And man, well, that's amazing when you think about it. And you talk about genocide. All the babies. Can you imagine how mamas were feeling when their babies were being killed? The Hebrew midwives refused to kill the babies. What Pharaoh had done is he had told the Hebrew midwives, that's what they had them deliver the babies. And so when the midwives refused to do it, we're not killing them. We're just not killing them. They came up with this really cool story about, man, these women just have babies so fast, we can't get there in time, and they're born anyway. We didn't have a chance to kill them. Check this out. It says, then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people. He's not talking to the Hebrews now. He's talking to everybody. Every boy that is born, you must throw into the Nile. But let every girl live. Now, Moses was just born. And like I told you, can you imagine how you would feel when Pharaoh, king of Egypt, tells you that when that baby's born, you got to throw it in the river? Man, pretty amazing, huh? But when you look around what's going on in the world now, crazy stuff about killing babies. You know, it's just amazing. It's almost like the same sentence is happening now, only on a larger scale. Just in this country, we kill 4,000 of them every day. Just in this country. The things in the Old Testament, guys, relate to us now. God didn't write the Bible and told us, well, ignore that. This whole thing is good for teaching us. So Pharaoh wanted all the males to die so that they would not be increasing the numbers. They'd be like a whole generation gone. You read in your bulletin, Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 to 4. Now a man of the house of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. That was Moses. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months because she knew that Pharaoh wanted him dead. Isn't it amazing that the one story that we have in the Bible about someone who rejected Pharaoh's instructions would lead to the life of Moses. Man, that's a trip. That is amazing. But when she could hide him no longer, remember he's 3 months old, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar. Where's Pedro? That doesn't mean she put tires on it. She coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sister, Moses' sister, okay, his sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. That's her little brother in this thing, that Mama built this little boat, a basket boat, put him in so the thing wouldn't sink, while all the other babies are just going in the river and they're drowning. It's really cool how family is keeping an eye on him, right? A lot of times we don't think about that, but family loved him. And so now his sister is keeping an eye on this whole thing to see when this thing goes, where it's going, what's going to happen. Sad thing would be if some Egyptian just turned the basket over and baby died. But God protected Moses just like he protected us, guys. God has protected us to get us to this point. In Exodus chapter 2, verses 5 to 10. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the river bank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her slave girl to get it. Now, guys, this is really cool how you think about this. The Egyptians would have just killed the baby. But you've got a young girl who has got the motherly instincts and all that kind of stuff, and she sees a baby. Now, I love babies. I love me some baby. I'm telling you, you give me a baby, a rocking chair, and a glass of iced tea, don't talk to me. That's all I need. But, and that's kind of weird that a guy would be saying that, but God has instilled into women to care for babies. And so here's Pharaoh's daughter seeing this baby in the bushes in the river. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying. And she felt sorry for him. This is a lady that does not have Pharaoh's heart, even though she's his daughter. Because all them babies be crying. This is one of the Hebrew babies, she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you? What a setup, huh? Yes, go, she answered. And the girl went and got the baby's mama. Wow, I mean, you talk about a full circle. Now Moses is going to be cared for by his own mother, safely.